Hello everybody, Jake here from Sharp. Gage is in Belgium this week, so you're going to be seeing a little bit more of me. You may also know me as Second Gage. We have Gage at home, or my personal favorite, Gage in 5 years when he commits to the shaved head. Today we are taking a look at this sweet Gyuto from none other than Shiro Kamo. This is the Aogami Super Kurouchi line, so of course the steel on these guys is Aogami Super with a stainless cladding and a cool Kurouchi finish. For the handles, we're looking at walnut with rosewood. These guys are not like the most sanded down on the spine and choil, but they're definitely not sharp. They're still super comfy in hand. Balance point is going to be right about there, or right where you would want it for a pinch grip. And we're going to test them out on some stuff today. So for geometry, we've got some turnip or rutabaga. I've got some carrots. We're going to test the tip geometry, of course, on the onion. We're going to test food release on the potato and some perfectly average sized cucumbers. I got an orange because I thought it would be pretty, and then also some mushrooms because I'm going to eat those for dinner. And then it's not really the out-of-the-box edge anymore because we have used this for a couple of videos. But we're going to test the edge on these cherry tomatoes. So without any further ado, let's get set up. All right, guys, we're going to start out with the tomato for the edge test. Again, this isn't the out-of-the-box edge. You can see that it's already got some scuffs on it. We have used this quite a few times. And off camera, I did hit it on a strop, but it has not touched a stone. So let's see how we do. Well, that was pretty great. Still just melting right through that skin. Go ahead and do the fancy Gage dice on these guys. You know, it's not like the shallowest tip on this guy, but it definitely still feels nice on getting it in for a little detailed work like that. I quite like that. Get rid of the gooby bits, and then let's try skin down, really test the edge on this guy. Oh yeah, that's still biting in real nice. All right, yeah, that feels really good. Edge is still fantastic on this guy. Of course, Aogami Super, out of all the carbon steels, is probably going to have the best edge retention of the bunch of the other Aogamis or even Shirogami. These cherry tomatoes that I have, however, come back. These cherry tomatoes that I have, a little bit past their prime. The skin's a little bit leathery, so this will be a good test as well. Yeah, just flying through these guys, just the weight of the knife. Just melting through these tomatoes. What am I going to do with these? I am probably going to throw these in a pan with some olive oil and garlic and start a little sauce for a pasta dinner tonight. However, moving on. All right, we got our edge test out of the way. Let's do some food release. Let's start with this potato. Squared up like I'm fancy, even though I would never do this for dinner for myself. And then let's make some planks. All right, pretty nice there. No stickage. Of course, that's not gonna be the hard part. That's good. Let's try like a straight chop, see if they stick then. Yeah, a little bit. But that's a technique issue. That has nothing to do with the knife. I'm going to stack these guys back up. Ooh, maybe. And this is going to be a better show of food release here. Let's see how this goes. Look at that. That's not bad. I'm going to use these for some home fries tomorrow morning. But yeah, quite impressed with that. Let's get these guys out of here. Probably put them on the back side of the board so you can still see. Try a little cucumber here. See how that goes. All right, still a little sticky. It's kind of an up and down chop. That's not really super fair to the knife. But nothing's like doing the suction thing where it gets really hard to push off. They're all just very effortlessly sliding off the knife. So I'd say food release overall, maybe an 8 out of 10. Pretty impressed. Moving on. All right, we're all cleaned up. What are we gonna do next? Let's do a geometry test. We have this, I believe, turnip. Maybe rutabaga. I'm not really entirely sure of the difference. But we're gonna take that off, take that off. I'm gonna take a little bit more off because I'm, oh. Okay, this turnip, if that's what it is, looks terrible. I only have the one, so it's still nice and firm, and it's going to show a good job of geometry, but it is kind of janky. Let's go for the big half shot here. That was nice. All right, normally I would have peeled this, but again, it's kind of janky, and I'm not going to eat it, so I'm just going to give this guy a quick dice here, see how that goes. Food release still feeling real nice on this guy. Good geometry for a heavy, sturdy vegetable like this. Back in there. All right. Nope, man down. Now this guy is a little bit rough, and it's as I left the skin on, it's still like really tough and leathery, and it's doing a really, really nice job getting through that. So I would say the turnip has failed the test, but the knife has passed. Maybe this is why people don't eat turnips in the summer. All right, geometry test number 2. This is one of my favorites, the carrot. Butter. Absolute butter on that guy. But it's a little wobbly, so we'll cut it in half, and then let's, whoo, right through. Yeah, that's real nice. Now, one thing about this knife is that it does have quite a rocky profile on it, which, if I'm being completely honest, like usually isn't my taste. But we're gonna try some of the rocking. We're gonna do some push cuts, some pull cuts on these guys as well. Just do a single if I'm gonna be rocking. This is challenging to rock with because it is actually so sharp that it's really biting into this end grain board. Yeah. Maybe it's just a skill issue, but it is really, really digging into that board, which is a good thing because it means it is crazy sharp, but I'm having a hard time. Maybe I'm just too strong. Maybe I'm just pushing too hard. Got a decent flat spot on here, so we're going to do some push cuts too. Let's see how that goes. Just launching carrots across the room. Luckily, Gage is not on the other side to catch them like I usually am. Do a little up and down chopping on this guy. All right. I did kind of ignore the food stickage on that guy, so I'll try one more carrot just so I can take some rounds and see how that does. They are getting hung up a little bit. They're not like super sectiony, but I can really feel them like kind of catching at least the bigger slices and then pushing off my finger down here. So not the best food release on the carrot. I don't know how often in your everyday life you will need carrot rounds. Something to consider if you do often do carrot rounds though. All right, moving on. I'll sweep those up later. I want to get out of this room because it is like 1,000,000 degrees. I'm dripping sweat in here. Whew, it's like I'm working in a real kitchen again. It's hot up here in the studio today. I have my energy drink. I'm cutting up way more veggies than I would ever need for a meal at home. All right, tip, tail. That was nice. That was real nice. This onion was a little weird. I maybe cut a bit too much of the root off, but we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Little dice on this guy. Test out the tip. Now I admit I've used Shiro Kamo's knives quite a few times, mostly the Nakiri, but I've used these Gyutos as well, and I am a big fan of them. They're nice and thin at the tip. They do have a bit of like forged geometry in, so they're a little bit thicker at the tang. They got a nice like taper down to the tip. So let's see how she does. No pressure, right? wasn't too bad. Didn't pull too much back up with it. Everybody's favorite and useless, I am constantly told, horizontal slices. And give her a little dice. All right, not bad, not so bad at all. Let's try that one more time on the other half of the onion. Getting warm now. Maybe just one horizontal. Peas some of you. Not too many horizontals like our cursed onion reel. Woohoo! Not today, Satan. I don't know what it is about being on camera. I feel like I lose like 30% of my knife skills. And it adds 15 pounds. This is tough, man. Sorry, I only nicked the scar on my finger that I have from repeatedly shaving that piece off when I was working as a prep cook and learning knife skills. I got some more learning to do, it seems, but I'm not leaking, which is good. But yeah, that performed really, really nicely on the onion. It's going to get pretty emotional in here today from here on out. All right, moving on. Got some celery here. I'm going to chop some of this up. I was going to do mushrooms, but now that I've got those tomatoes chopped up for dinner, I'm probably not going to use those, so I'll hold off on those maybe till the next one. But some kind of sad looking celery. That's all right. We'll clean her up. It's all going in a sauce anyhow. No one's going to know. Overall, I'm a really big fan of these guys. Again, like I've used these more than just in this video, enough to know that I quite like them. Really good edge retention. I really, really like that he is forging them out, so you get that thicker tang with a nice taper. It gives a really nice like balance and weight. It's still super thin behind the edge, but it gives you a little bit more like comfort and confidence when the knife is in your hand, in my opinion, to have that more weight kind of by the tang. Makes it really, really nice and comfy. But yeah, guys, overall, I'm a really, really big fan of these knives. They cut great. They're a dream to sharpen on. The geometry's in a really, really good place when you want to thin or play with the bevels or polish them up. They're not, they're definitely like hollow bevels, but they're not like a super deep hollow that takes forever to work the low spots out of. They age really nicely. The Kurouchi is definitely one of the more stable ones that I've seen on a knife. But yeah, that's just about it for today, guys. I'm gonna go figure out what I'm gonna do with all of the veg that I just cut up. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's anything else that you guys would like to see in the next video, please let me know. I'm always happy to test out more knives or whatever else you guys are up to. So, thanks again for watching, and stay sharp.